What's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be going over my recap and breakdowns for UFC Fight Night Vettori versus Dolidze 2. Spoiler alert, I did terrible on picks, so did a lot of other people, but hey, you know what? We'll get it back next weekend. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Bit of a shorter video today because I got stuff to do, so yeah. Unessi Dubin versus Carly Judas. I went with Dubin as an underdog by first round TKO, and the script got flipped. Carly Judas head kick KOs Unessi Dubin in the first round. Really sick finish. I was trying to set up my other screen while I was watching this, and I look up just to see my pick get head kick KO'd. So that was amazing. But yeah, a great win from Carly Judas. I heavily underrated her. I know her record doesn't seem like it's much, but she is actually pretty technical. I just thought Dubin would have, the more I thought she'd have the more power in her shots. I thought she'd, be able to keep Judas back and have the threat of the knockout, but Judas was the one that gets the knockout. So yeah, this just goes to show that even a little bit of experience can just put you at such a higher level. But yeah, good win for Carly Judas. Let's move on to the next fight. Josiane Nunes versus Priscilla Cachoeira. I went with Josiane Nunes by decision, and Priscilla Cachoeira uppercut KOs her in the first round. I just want to point something out real quick. There was a big size advantage in this fight. Priscilla was clearly the much bigger fighter, but who cares? She uppercut KOs Josiane Nunes in the first round. I don't know why she's a women's bantamweight. She should be a women's strawweight. I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe she's just naturally more dense, but she's like 5'2". So I mean, I don't know. I just don't think she fits in at women's bantamweight. She's too small. But yeah, Priscilla Cachoeira. They're both landing some good shots in each other. And then Priscilla Cachoeira lands an uppercut in the clinch and puts Josiane Nunes out fucking cold, like sleeping. So, yeah, two of my picks back to back get flatlined in the first round, so that's awesome. But, yeah, good win for Priscilla Cachoeira. I also underrated her in this fight, but at the same time, I feel like pretty much everybody was picking Josiane Nunes because she actually seemed to have promise, but she's too small for women's bantamweight. She has to move, at least move down to women's flyweight, 125. But, yeah, let's move on to the next fight. Andre Lima versus Daniel Barres. Daniel Barres gets smoked. Holy fuck, this was a sick performance from Andre Lima. I picked him as a lock. This was an easy lock pick. Beats the shit out of him for the first two rounds and then submits the jiu-jitsu guy, Daniel Barres. And yeah, man, Andre Lima, I've been telling people this guy's sick. In my opinion, he's the best unranked prospect at flyweight. Better than Joshua Van, better than Charles Johnson, better than Loner Kavanagh, better than all these guys. He's the best unranked prospect at flyweight. His skill set is just so high level. He's just so good. I know his performance against Felipe Dos Santos was not the greatest thing ever, but he definitely redeemed himself here. Smoked Daniel Barres, beat him up, and yeah, man, Andre Lima. I honestly think he's one win away from a ranked opponent. You might maybe with the state of the current flyweight division, maybe you give him a ranked opponent. I'm not gonna lie to you, but ooh, what are some good matchups for Andre Lima? If he's fighting outside the rankings, maybe maybe a Charles Johnson, because Charles Johnson just lost to Ramazan Tamarov, so maybe Lima versus Johnson, but isn't Johnson ranked? Hold on. Quick 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 intermission here. Just gotta quickly see if Charles Johnson is ranked. Let's see. Charles Johnson is 15th. So yeah. You know what? Charles Johnson, number 15 versus Andre Lima. That'd be a sick matchup. Gives Andre Lima a ranked opportunity. And if you want to give Andre Lima a fight before the rankings, you can give him, let me just quickly think of a name in the unranked area. You can give him, I don't want to do the Joshua Van fight because I like Joshua Van and I want to see him go on a bit of a run. And I think this is a terrible matchup for Joshua Van. So maybe Andre Lima versus Cody Durden. Maybe that'd be an interesting fight. But other than that, man, I think he's close enough to the rankings. He's put together a good streak. And I think the Charles Johnson fight would be sick. Throw that as like a prelim headliner or like one of the later fights on the prelims of like a pay-per-view or something. And dude, like that's sick. Or maybe like a fight night featured fight. That'd be a really sick matchup. But yeah, Andre Lima, Charles Johnson. Make that happen. Let's move on to the next fight. Sam Hughes versus Stephanie Luciano. Sam Hughes gets the win like I predicted. She just pushes a pace and beats these prospects, man. That's just how it is. Really close decision. Could have went to Stephanie Luciano, but man, Sam Hughes she just paces these people and they can't keep up with her cardio. Even the third round was like the closest round of the fight. But man, Sam Hughes, I don't know, man. She just keeps beating these prospects. She keeps fraud checking these guys. She fraud checked Victoria Dudakova, a couple other names that I can't remember, but yeah, man, Sam Hughes, she gets the win here. Nothing really else to say. It wasn't the best performance. It was all right. But man, she just out-grappled her and got on the inside, and Stephanie Luciano couldn't defend the takedown. So, yeah, good win for Sam Hughes. Let's move on to the next fight. Josias Musasa versus Carlos Vera. This was the most surprising outcome of the entire card. This was just weird. This is just really weird how this happened. I I don't know. I don't know what to say. Josias Musasa, striker, dangerous guy. He's the knockout guy going into this. Almost all of his wins by KO. Carlos Vera, Ryan Hall student, jiu-jitsu guy, old, hasn't been looking the best in his fights. Goes out there, trading some shots, lands he steps to the side, wings out a head kick, drops Josias Musasa with a fucking head kick, and then chases the submission and rear naked chokes him. I I don't even know what to say. This was the most surprising outcome of the card. I think he was like a plus 600 underdog or something like that. I'm not checking because I'm lazy, but I think he was like a massive. He was. I'm pretty sure this was the biggest. Okay, just a heads up. I picked 5 underdogs to win. 6 underdogs won on this card. I got one pick right for the underdogs. All the big underdogs that I picked to win lost, and all the big underdogs that I picked to lose won. Like it was reversed. I knew a lot of underdogs were gonna win. I just picked all the wrong underdogs to win. So that's on me. But man, Carlos Vera, we're dropping undefeated prospects with head kicks now. Like, all right, man, whatever you say. Like last time I saw this guy, he was fucking holding on to Rinya Nakamura's leg for dear life. But yeah, Josias Musasa gets smoked, and Carlos Vera gets a win at 49 years of age. Not really, but might as well be. Yeah, let's move on to the next fight. Su Young Yu versus AJ Cunningham. I really believed in AJ Cunningham. This was my big underdog pick of the card. He was a plus 500 underdog, and I really believed in him to win. But Su Young Yu just took him down, and AJ Cunningham's takedown defense is not great. And he just wasn't throwing enough on the feet. But man, Su Young Yu, even though I still don't think he's like that good, I mean, I underrated him. He looked better than I thought he was gonna look. He looked good, I guess. But why are people calling this guy like the next Khabib? Like, stop it. Like, this guy will not be ranked. He's not ranked potential at bantamweight. He's just a worse Renya Nakamura, but with like maybe higher fight IQ because he actually wrestles. But like, dude, Suya and you, man, I don't know, mediocre, good performance, but I don't know. I expected more from AJ Cunningham. I really wanted him to get on the mic. He's Bryce Mitchell's friend. He has Bryce Mitchell in his corner. I really wanted this guy on the mic, but yeah, Su Young Yu gets the win, and yeah, nothing else to really say. Let's move on to the next fight. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Ryan Spann. Can I get a pass, guys? Can I like delete one of my locks from history? Cause why the fuck did I lock Ryan Spann? Why the fuck did I do that? I at the moment, okay, listen, in the moment I didn't know what I was doing. Okay? In the moment I was like, okay, Ryan Spann, lighter man skill, super dangerous. Waldo's a blob, not as much of a blob, but still a blob. Up at heavyweight, he hasn't seen this type of skill set before. Ryan Spann's got all that experience. Maybe he needed to move up to heavyweight. Maybe that was his calling. Maybe he was going to go on a run because Kennedy and Nzechukwu's beating up all these heavyweights, and Ryan Spann, in my opinion, is a little bit better than Kennedy and Nzechukwu. So I don't know, but Waldo was way better than the guys Kennedy's fighting. But I don't know, man. I just thought Ryan Spann was gonna have all the advantages: speed, striking, power, grappling. If Waldo tries to take him down, he can submit him. He's more athletic. I thought he was just going to win based on being not fat and having lighter man skill and having way more experience. But yeah, Waldo Cortez Acosta gets it done by second round TKO. Ryan Spann's fight IQ continues to disappoint the entire MMA fan base. It's just terrible. Like, I don't know why I locked Ryan Spann. Locking Ryan Spann is like locking Kevin Holland or locking Jalen Turner. You just can't do it. You can pick him to win, but you can't lock him. So yeah, I will not be locking Kevin Holland next weekend when he fights. I don't even know if I'm going to pick him. I'm not going to lie to you. That's for that video, so you guys have to wait to see who I pick there. But yeah, Waldo Cortez Acosta gets it done by second round TKO. I will say, you know what? Even though I don't think Waldo's that good, he got the shit kicked out of him by Marcos Rogerio de Lima and almost got fraud checked by Jared Vandera. He's improving with every fight. He looked good here. He looked composed. And you know what? He's not amazing. He's not going to be in the top 5. Probably not even the top 8. I could see him around the 9 to 10 area, maybe. I think he beats Tai Tuivasa at this stage. I think he beats number 9, Derek Lewis. I think he can win that fight. but I don't see him beating like a Tybura, Spivak, or anything past that. Spivak, that one's a little up for debate. So is Tybura actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I see this guy in the heavyweight top eight, but I could see him, going up one or two more spots. And I think a good next fight for him would be either Tai Tuivasa or Derek Lewis. Maybe do him versus Tai Tuivasa on the next Australia card as like the fight as like the main card opener. 5 fight losing streak, Tai Tuivasa. We can watch him get beat up in front of his hometown again. And you know what? Honestly, if Spivak loses to Shamil, or if Tybura loses to Parkin, one of those two guys lose, Spivak or Tybura, I don't mind Cortez Acosta versus Spivak or Tybura. I would rather the Spivak fight because I think it's more interesting. I think Spivak is better than Tybura, younger, hungrier, but who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah, Waldo Cortez Acosta gets the win. Let's move on to the next fight. Kevin Vallejos. Kevin Vallejos. Glory be to God. My lock of the week, my lock of the card, my most confident pick, Kevin Vallejos. I predicted perfectly. Kevin Vallejos TKO Sun Woo Choi in the first round. Beautiful slip, right hand over the top. Dude, Kevin Vallejos is good. This guy's good, man. Sun Woo Choi is he's mid. He's not that good, but you know what? He's a big featherweight, and Vallejos looks like a small featherweight, and he put him out. Very, very reminiscent of Ilia Topuria versus Jai Herbert. Where, Ilia's sleeping the bigger guy. I know that was up a different weight class, but I'm just making comparisons here. But yeah, Kevin Vallejos, he looked really good, man. His boxing looks really good, and when he gets in the pocket, man, he's dangerous. Sung Woo Choi is not like horrible. He's not the worst fighter, but Kevin Vallejos cleaned him up easily. I think Kevin Vallejos deserves a pretty big jump up. Definitely not a ranked opponent yet. That was his fucking UFC debut. But I think he needs a pretty decent jump up in competition. And I've seen a lot of people saying he should move up to or move down to bantamweight because he looks small. There's a lot of like Ilia Topuria is small for featherweight. I know he talks about I'm 190, bro. I can't make the weight. I move up to lightweight. He does not have a problem making 140. He probably walks around 170. Like Vallejos probably walks around 160, around that area. So like Kevin Vallejos, man, definitely not like he's definitely not big for the weight class. He might be a little small, but dude, he has the power to equalize it. So yeah, I think a next good fight for Kevin Vallejos. Dude, listen, hear me out. I'm looking I'm looking through the rankings here, trying to find someone. Nate Landwehr. Nate Landwehr versus Kevin Vallejos. Make that shit happen. I just seen that name pop up in here. Or Sadiq Yusuf. Where's Sadiq been? He lost at 300 and hasn't been back since. Where's Sadiq at, man? Sadiq versus Vallejos or Landwehr versus Vallejos. Make those fights happen. I think Vallejos deserves a big jump up. But yeah, Kevin Vallejos gets the win by TKO in the first round. Let's move on to the next fight. Dr. Nurgaje versus Brandon Ribeiro. Cut Dr. Nurgaje from the sport. Brandon Ribeiro gets the second round submission. Dude, Brandon Ribeiro, man, he looked on. He looked on tonight. Not tonight, it was last night, but he looked on. Dropped Dr. Nurgaje in the first round bad. Nurgaje survives. Didn't really land anything too clean, and then just gets Kimura in the second round while going for a takedown. Dr. Nurgaje should be cut from the sport. He looked out of shape. He missed weight by like 5 pounds. Didn't look good at all. Didn't look motivated. Didn't look like he wanted to be there. Why are we gonna keep this guy on the roster and pay him? Like we cut Magomed Gadzhiev for the same reason. He was just underperforming and just had no reason being on the roster. Cut Dr. Nurgaje. He looked like he had promise in the contender series, but dude came in out of shape. Maybe he had some like problems going on. Maybe he was like dealing with some stuff like mentally. That would probably explain why he looked so unmotivated, missed weight by 5 pounds, and just didn't look like he wanted to be there during the fight. But yeah, cut Dr. Nurgaje from the promotion. Send him to like the LFA or something. Let him get his mentality back, and maybe bring him back after a couple good performances. But man, Brandon Ribeiro looked on tonight, and honestly, I underrated him. I pretty much wrote him off in this fight after seeing the weigh-ins and seeing how Nurgache like missed weight and looking at like his body language. I could tell this was going to be a lot closer. Like it went from here I had it as a 60-40. Immediately in my head it flipped to like a 55-45, maybe even a 50-50 cuz you got to be on when you're fighting Brandon Ribeiro cuz he can put your lights out. The guy knocked out Bruno Lopez, and Bruno Lopez looks pretty promising in his career so far. Um he's not Why am I hyping up Bruno Lopez? But yeah, Brandon Ribeiro, man, great performance, great win, and honestly, You know what? Maybe we see a Brandon Ribeiro title run. Maybe he fights like maybe we put Brandon Ribeiro against like an Ibo Aslan next, or like a Jimmy Crute, or a Rodolfo Bellato. And maybe we put a Brandon Ribeiro against one of those guys. Give him a slight bump up in competition. Um, I think Ibo Aslan would knock him out. I'm not gonna lie to you, but who knows? Ibo Aslan is kind of mid. I think he beats Bellato. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Ribeiro would beat Bellato. I'd pick him to beat him. Jimmy Crute. I think I'd maybe favor Jimmy Crute in that matchup, but I don't know. You don't know. Brandon Ribeiro is good, man. He's not good. He's mid, but he looked good in this fight, so we're gonna call him good for now. But yeah, Brandon Ribeiro gets it done. Let's move on to the next fight. Damon Blackshear versus Cody Gibson. Damon Blackshear gets it done. I predicted it perfectly. Second round submission. Another Kimura. We just seen a Kimura in the Dr. Nurgaje versus Brandon Ribeiro fight, but dude, this was a interesting fight, dude. I want to say this right quick though. My lock picks were on tonight, except Ryan Span, that didn't happen. But my lock picks were on tonight. Got them all right. I did really good on my lock picks. My underdog picks I did shit on, but you know what? They're underdogs. They're supposed to lose. So you know what? Can't have all the good underdog picks. But yeah, man, Damon Blackshear, he gets it done by sub first round. Had me worried because Cody Gibson was lighting him up on the feet, piecing him up to the body. He had Blackshear covering up against the fence, and then decides while he's winning on the feet to start shooting takedowns on a decorated jiu-jitsu specialist, and he gets submitted for it because Damon Blackshear has a nasty, dangerous, disgusting submission game. This guy submits Marab. You put this guy in there, Marab right now, he's submitting Marab. I'm joking, but no, man, Damon Blackshear has a sick submission game, dude. I don't know. He's just a fun fighter, man. He's just fun, and I think honestly, okay. First of all, let's talk about what to do with Cody Gibson. I think Cody Gibson should either retire or be cut from the promotion. He's near 40. Yeah, 40 years of age. He's nearly 40 years of age, and we have no reason to keep him. He showed such a he that was such a dumb game plan. He deserves to get cut for that. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, as for Damon Blackshear, hear me out on this. Give me Damon Blackshear. Give us, give we as the MMA community and as the MMA fan base, give us Damon Blackshear versus Rowney Barcelos. That would be a sick matchup. We know Rowney Barcelos grapple fucked Peyton Talbot in his last fight. If he does that against Damon Blackshear, I think he gets submitted. But who knows? On the feet could be interesting. Barcelos can knock him out. Barcelos might just grapple. He might just get submitted. Who knows? That's a very interesting fight. It's honestly some decent name value at this point. Rowney Barcelos is known. He's kind of like a budget Jose Aldo, but he's known. And dude, Damon Blackshear, if you don't know, now you know. That'd be an interesting. That'd be interesting. Throw that on like the main card of a fight night. Throw it on the prelims of a pay per view. Damon Blackshear versus Rowney Barcelos. Make that happen. But yeah, let's move on to the next fight. Alexander Hernandez versus Kurt Holobaugh. I thought Kurt Holobaugh won this. I'm not even just coping. It was a really close fight, but I thought Holobaugh won. The judge that gave it 30-27 to Hernandez should be fired. I thought it was Sal D'Amato, but it wasn't, surprisingly, when I went back and looked at the judges. But yeah, Kurt Holobaugh, I thought he won this, and I don't know, maybe I have to go and rewatch it. I haven't rewatched it. I don't have time, but you know what? I'll rewatch it, and then I'll drop in the comments after I rewatch it if I actually think Kurt Holobaugh should have won the fight. I got it wrong on paper though, so I got to take that, and it's an L. Alexander Hernandez gets the win. I don't know. Hollabot just did more on the feet, and he was just pressuring more. And Hernandez wasn't really doing anything with the takedowns. He was just kind of holding him there. So yeah, I thought Hollabot won the fight, but Alexander Hernandez gets it done, I guess. I don't even know what's next for Hernandez. His career is not really going anywhere. I don't really see this guy doing anything special. He's definitely not going to be ranked. He's jumping between weight classes. I don't know. Hold on. Let me look at the lightweight rankings. Let me look at these rankings. Let me see a good matchup we could give for Alexander Hernandez. You know what? Why don't we give like a prospect a free win or something? Give like feed Alexander Hernandez to Nazim Sadikov. Give Nazim Sadikov a free win. Give Oralbai a free win. Oralbai's coming off of a loss. Hernandez is coming off of a win. Let Oralbai bounce back with a win against Alexander Hernandez. Let let Esteban Ribovics beat the shit out of Alexander Hernandez. Let I don't know, just give one of these prospects to him. Just give him to a prospect. I don't know. I don't really see anything special about Alexander Hernandez. He looked mid, and I thought he lost against a 40-year-old Kurt Holobaugh, who has like a 2-6 record in the UFC or something like that. Um, 2-5, but close enough. Yeah, looked mid against a 2-5 guy in the UFC who's almost 40 years old. I know Hollowbaugh's a lot better than his record suggests, but still, you got to take the record into account. Feed him to Esteban Ribovics. Let him get a win. Let him get back on the winning column after getting robbed against Nasser Haqparast. Not a robbery. Close fights aren't robberies, but I thought Esteban should have won that. I don't know, maybe I'm biased. Feed him to Nazim Sadikov. Nazim Sadikov's on a bit of a run in the UFC. Feed him to Nazim Sadikov. Give him a free win. Let Oralby bounce back with a win after losing to Rebecki. But yeah, Alexander Hernandez, he's 7-7 in the UFC, bouncing between weight classes, and I just don't think he's anything special. Yeah, let's move on to the next fight. Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos versus Chidi Njokuani. I picked Zaleski, and Njokuani KOs him with a knee up the middle in the second round. Two unks at the barbecue battling it out, and the black unk beats the Brazilian unk. So I guess we're having fried chicken for the next few cookouts. Jesus, my bad. But yeah, Chidi Njokuani gets it done, and I don't really know what else to say. I didn't think a win over Reese McKee, but I didn't think a split decision over Reese McKee was enough to make me think, yeah, this guy's gonna fucking sleep Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. I'm sorry, I don't know what you guys were thinking, but in my opinion, when I look at your record and I see a split decision against Reese McKee, and then I see a decision against Jared Gooden, that doesn't tell me that you're gonna beat Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos by KO in the second round. Like I just don't know. I don't know what to say. But yeah, Chidi Njokuani gets it done. Um, Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, it was going to happen eventually. He's been KO'd before, I think, by Li Jinliang. Yeah, but I don't know. He's usually very durable. I thought he was going to be able to take the punches, outspeed Chidi, land the better shots, and that's what he was doing. He was piecing up Chidi in the first round, cracked him, and held him up against the cage for a good bit. But still cracked him a few times with some good cracked him a few times with some good shots. Chidi was landing some good front kicks to the body, but I don't know, man. Zaleski, he just sleeps Zaleski. I don't know. It is what it is. This is the same guy that got fucking smoked in a round by Mikhail Aleksejic and lost a split decision to Albert Duriev. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is what I mean about the UFC. It's so unpredictable. Dude goes to a split decision with Reese McKee and then KOs Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos 2 fights later. But yeah, I don't know. He's an unk, and I don't think he has too much of a future at welterweight. I don't think he's gonna be ranked. But yeah, let's move on to the main event. Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. I went with Marvin Vettori by decision, and Roman Dolidze gets it done. I switched my pick last second again. I need to stop doing it. I was going Roman Dolidze the whole fight week. A couple days earlier than the fight, I switched to Vettori, and I get it wrong. I keep doing this. I did it with last week. I did it with 313 as well. I was going Ankalaev. A couple days before the fight happens, I switched to Pereira. I get that one wrong. I was going with Gaethje in the co-main event. A couple days before the fight happens, I pick Fiziev. I get that one wrong. I did it with what's another one I can think of? Rainer de Ridder versus Kevin Holland. I was picking de Ridder up until one day before the card. Literally the day before the fights, I switched to Kevin Holland, and I got that one wrong. So for next weekend, I will be sticking with my original gut prediction, and you're gonna have to watch the video for that. Not telling you who I picked, but I think I'm gonna get some good picks on that card. I think I'm gonna redeem myself. But yeah, uh, Marvin Vettori loses, and Roman Dolidze gets it done. You just can't pick somebody coming off of a couple surgeries, coming off a long layoff against an active fighter. You just can't really pick them. But yeah, I don't know. Roman Dolidze gets it done. 49-46 is a bit absurd. I had Roman Dolidze winning 48-47. Honestly, you could maybe argue it going to Vettori. I don't know, but I do think Dolidze won the fight. I thought he won 48-47. I gave Marvin Vettori the first and the third, I believe, and then there was one other round that was really debatable. But yeah, Dolidze gets it done. Next for Dolidze, either Izzy or either Adesanya or Whitaker. I think those will both be interesting fights. I honestly think he probably loses both those. I don't know. He could beat Adesanya at this point. I'm not gonna lie. I could see him maybe cheating Adesanya, but I don't think he has the hand speed for that. Like a guy like a Mavov, but who knows? And as for Vettori, I want to see him fight the winner of Bo Nickel versus Rainer de Ridder, which I think is going to be Rainer de Ridder. So Rainer de Ridder beats Bo Nickel, and then we see Marvin Vettori versus Rainer de Ridder. I think Vettori beats Derrida, or I think Derrida beats Vettori. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, I don't know. I just think he would. But yeah, let's move on to the official recap. I said this was going to be a shorter video. I ended up yapping a bit longer than I thought I was going to, but 4 for 13 on correct picks. My worst predictions so far on any card. That's fucking just terrible. And yeah, fight of the night, Lima versus Barres. It was one-sided, yeah, but it was just a sick performance, and Lima showed to be so well-rounded. I just had to put it there. Best finish, Vera versus Musasa. Nasty head kick into a submission. That was a really nice finish, the way it was set up. I went 3 for 4 on locks. The Ryan Span one I almost didn't count because that was retarded, but that would be corrupt if I didn't count it. So got to count it. But hey, good on lock picks. I went 75% on those, and 1 for 5 on underdog picks. The only underdog pick I got right, I believe, was Sam Hughes. Yeah, dude, all the big underdogs that I picked to win lost, and all the other underdogs won. Like Carlos Vera won, Brennison Ribeiro won, um, Enja Kawani and Vittor or Enja Kawani and Dolidze won. But yeah, none of the underdogs I really picked won. AJ Cunningham didn't get it done. Hollabaugh didn't get it done. Span didn't get it done. Dubin didn't get it done. But yeah, I mean, Sam Hughes pulled through, so thanks for that one underdog pick. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.